Thank you very much. Thank you for the few words, Marcus. And I think we'll start very, very soon. I'll share my screen with you. So people still coming in, so that's fine. I hope I don't get distracted too much, but I'm always excited actually to share our ideas with you, especially as we are really worldwide now. So I see a lot of faces all around the globe, and that's really exciting, I must say, because we did work quite a lot on this topic we will present to you today. So we are pleased to welcome you to the presentation today, and it will take me about or us about 40 minutes or maybe 50 minutes to introduce you to the essence of color. Actually, we had a presentation before in German. This was really crowded and it was really exciting to have it. My name is Timo Rieker. I'm a designer, researcher, and professor of color design at the design faculty of at the HAWK in Hildesheim, University of Applied Sciences and Arts, and part of the IIT, Institute International Trend Scouting at the HAWK, with partners Professor Maike Weber, Professor Günther Weber, and Professor Markus Schlegel. And my focus is on the haptics and synesthetics of color and its application. With us today is Alina Schartner, who will will be part with me answering your questions after the presentation, and she will have the notes in the chat. And so please send her what you need, what questions you have. And she might compliment me if there's something extra to point out. Actually, like everything nowadays, the trend report is not finished. So we welcome you to follow the Instagram feed where we have color stories in the forthcoming month. So that's a very nice insight too. So there is more material to come. There will be, or this will be a tour de force. I will show a lot of images and a lot of text actually, but I think it will not get boring. But afterwards you will say, okay, this was a lot. So I'll warn you a little bit, but that's okay. But first, what is RAL color feeling? RAL color feeling is a series of empirically based color trend reports that focus on current to future trends in design and architecture. And the reports summarize empirical trends, insights for the practical design of contemporary situations. So we want to design situations because situations are something where people get involved too. So that's the main focus we want to present here. In a matrix of 15 colors we always choose, we reflect current color trends and think how they might progress in the near future. The color profiles that are therefore applied rather than hypothetical or just artistical. So they are really good to apply. In 2020, we had Rebirth of Culture. You see this on the left side. In 2021, Rethink and Create, which was quite mellow and long-lasting. And now we have Relate and Support. That's the topic of 2022 plus. And you clearly see that we are becoming a little bit more clear and more colorful, more decisive, more playful, but yet serious, I must say. We want to offer users or designers a tool, professional designers, a tool with which it is fun to design and color combinations that are easy to use and inspire design in our environments. The users are craftsmen, designers, architects, and you, of course. And Markus Frentrop will introduce us to RAL in very short words.
Thank you, Timo. As in recent presentations, we found out that some of the participants, they take RAL colors as a synonym for RAL, which is great for us, but indeed RAL is one of 5 business areas of our GmbH with its headquarters in Bonn, Germany. We've been founded some 95 years ago in 1927, so RAL Colors has developed since then into a worldwide synonym for manufacturer-independent color systems and color classification systems, up to professional color designers. With a multitude of various design tools, we offer both consumers and professional color designers in various areas like industry, trade, architecture, and design, the perfect tool for high-quality color design. We sell our products globally through a network of more than 40 sales partners, which market our product actively in about 85 countries. And indeed, we ship our products from our headquarters in Bonn to a number of 150 countries worldwide. What we, we regard and describe ourselves as the applied language of colors. We run a total of 2,500 different color shades in 3 different color collections, which are RAL Classic, which might be the most well-known across the world. But also there are RAL Effect and the RAL Design System Plus. Thereby, we offer designers precise color samples and material-independent references for many areas in architecture and industrial design. Color fans and plastic standards, as well as color design and trend books, this is something we offer to our customers. And all these color tools, color design tools, they offer precise color standardization for a demanding and globalized market. Our goal is to enable you to make the right color decisions with confidence. Above the sales of physical products, we have our RAL Academy, where we educate design professionals in the strategic use of color. Our aim is to develop principles for long-lasting design and impulses for the color language of the future at the same time. In addition to that, we offer design services and individual consultation in the area of color. We are linked to the International Trend Scouting Institute International Trend Scouting. That means to Timo and Alina and their team at the Faculty of Design at the University of Applied Science and Arts in Hildesheim, Germany. That was just a very brief introduction, and now I would like to hand the word over to Timo again.
Thank you very much, Marcus, for the words and for the orientation here. So I will continue to introduce you to our trend report. Adaptive, connecting, conscious, holistic, and activating. These are the 5 values that describe our Color Trend Report 2022. This year, we have developed a narrative that is orientated towards current social developments. The report summarizes, processes, and visualizes qualitative empirical data collected by the Institute and the university. Color trends normally do not appear out of the blue, but they are the result of methodical work and experience, of course. So we are trying to have the same process, the same method every year, so we can compare the trends and have a much clearer view on things. The colors chosen for our trend reports are based on the observation and evaluation of social, technological, and design trends. And this covers the period of the last 50 years up to the present day. And the color spectrum developed additionally refers to basic design categories and detailed studies on color effects and color perception. We do not define fixed trend colors, but a current to future-proof color profile that stimulates design possibilities instead of reducing them. So we want to make up a whole color scenario where you have really got possibilities and where you would like to design with. And that's the main focus, that we would like to test our colors and design with them. Megatrends are the origin of our research to have them more comprehensible. To us, they will represent the developments of our society and offer important impulses for the developments of the fields of design and application in the future. And our trend memo shows that the pandemic is an amplifier of the so-called megatrends. If we look at these in detail, we see the impact of megatrends in the connections, of course. So we have growing of connectivity, also globalization, with a discussion between individualization and sustainability. And this is something, a topic that will remain with us the next few years, I think. That's really important. In this trend report, we focus more on the subtopics of the big megatrends with social and ethical topics like well-being and awareness, which are, however, determined by the point of sustainability, of course, and more broadly of resource creation. So we have to create more lively neighborhoods, for example, and connections for our world we live in. So we want to show possibilities instead of reducing them, and that is the main topic. Like always, we have a methodology that we have every year. That's a university course we have where we take care about the images and the topics, the theoretical topics that are connected to our society. So we scout worldwide media in text and image. We sort them out, like we sort society, environmental, technical, and design issues, put them in the megatrend matrix, monitor the images and cluster them to topics. And we compare them to the past, to the last 50 years of color cycles. And out of all these insights, we create a fusion with the comprehensible narration code, color code, form code, surface code, and so on. So this is what we did, and this is what we present today. It's the fusion. This is a look on our Miro board, the digital board where we did select our images and put them in clusters. And this also shows that there is not just one trend, of course, but there are many trends we could have followed. But we decided to take the trends with the highest potential and that are most applicable for numerous fields. So this is our direction where we want to go, to tell all of you who are architects, designers, product designers, or city planners to put these color into action, of course. This is what this image shows. It's a design tool, the space expander box that our studio did work on the last years. And it exemplifies the call to consciously participate in shaping the environment and to actively use creative aspects to design living space. For color, this means developing a sensitivity for context, sensual messages, and the currents of the time. And RAL Color Feeling 2022 is part of this. So we put this into action, and this is what we expect you doing. So to put the colors into action, and I can show clearly in this presentation that it might be a little bit fun to play with these. We like to design. We like you to design with our professional help in color. We have summarized the whole thing in the Leporello. You can order Leporello, of course, at RAL in printed version to put this on your wall, maybe, to have this in your mind. Or you can download these things on the web page from, I think, tomorrow on, because this is a preview today. So you can download the files there and print them as you like, or adapt them into your work. You will also find digital color libraries where you can instantly work with the colors in your software, like these images from our scenario, from our working process, or these, how we did apply these colors in our design processes. So it's not much known that you have the digital libraries and that you can put them into the software and work directly with them. And as we are getting much better now in rendering surfaces and materials, we can get very accurate also in digital space with our colors. We understand the color feeling series as a design tool, and it helps designers and architects to create their project with a contemporary narration. So we deliver a narration and the 15 colors, and you can work with them and put them into your projects. So we have the opportunity to get directly involved into design with a narration, whether in product design, designing collections and editions, or furniture design, or all the topics that are concerned to material and color. So it helps you decide for materials, for color, for form. You can apply these into CMF concepts, of course. Or well, like you see here, these are all the colors already put into action in the images that you see here. You can also put them into your interior concepts, of course, to create very modern and timely based designs in your interior visions. Or you can put them everywhere where you deal with the relation of color and form. And this goes up to architecture, of course. Here you can see quite small models, of course, but you can see the possibilities that are in this collection, even into urban planning, facade, and urban design. In the end, the collection of the color feeling series are easy to design with, because the color shades work together quite smoothly and are tested among each other. Of course, this applies to the entire range of color feeling and not just to the current trend. So you can also always look back at a different trend, a different narration, and apply these to your projects. In my opinion, the reports do not get old too soon. That's why they are also designed like this. So they are not just suitable for 2022, but they are a narration that is much more wide. And this is really important to be a little bit more sustainable in what we are doing, especially in color. So we have a whole set of applications where RAL color feeling might make it fun to apply color without having to browse thousands of color chips or think about your own narration, or just to take the next version of Burgundy. So relate and support connects color, emotion, and function. And this is what the surplus of color design is in the future. Color need to be a content of its own and have to have some kind of function. It's not a topic that can live by its own solely. So it has to be connected into a context and to emotion to function. So color is related to appropriate emotional atmospheres and supporting functionality. And with relate and support, we offer design and architecture professionals a tool to do that. This is the relate and support color matrix, and our trend report focuses on these 15 shades that you can use to create your contexts. So the color matrix provides a wide range of suggestions for the atmospheric and function-oriented design of our environment. Tone and tone designs are just as possible as high contrast combinations, and you should be able to support different situations and to set relationships. So yeah, relate and support. In the end, good color design is working on relationships, actually. It can be seen in the relationship between client and designer, in relationship with the users, the relationship with space and spatial sequences, the relationship with the material and the local context, of course. So it's a wide, it's relationship, work on relationship, as you know from your own designs, I think. And the interweaving of color in our actions shows the potential of design, actually, and the power of color. And the human primal need to create relationships of the most diverse dimensions. The 15-part color matrix gives you as designers the freedom to play with their contexts and the security of being able to fall back on a curated selection of colors. This is the main mood board of relate and support, and this is the narration. Global and individual challenges have increased the awareness that design must improve our quality of life and our environmental footprint. As a global community, we are facing far-reaching decisions about the future. Sustainable solutions and resilience must build on an inclusive we culture. Access for all to holistic concepts for rooms, services, and products are increasingly important. Design must become increasingly adaptive. Our living and working environments will continue to overlap in very different areas. Design and production must be better geared to us, not vice versa. People want to become more involved and be able to take ownership of their environment. Basic plans must provide space for individualization. You can offer meaningful design modules with related support to show opportunities and at the same time prevent your customers from being overwhelmed too much. Relate means to connect instead of disconnect, linking instead of separating, and integrating instead of isolating. And support means to assist, actually. And this is what color can do if we really think about the context and the meaning. So we developed a color matrix whose aim it is to enable the most diverse color combinations that work for the most diverse contexts or target groups. We hope to connect people and environment and support positive situations with a minimum of color, actually. So it's just 15. Related support provides a lively and versatile color range reflecting the requirements of our time. And the trend report is a tool which both promotes and supports functional and sensuous design. The need for easily accessible and flexible solutions has emerged from fundamental social developments and experiences during the pandemic. And in this sense, color is not a superficial decision, but one based on context and possibility. And the key to accommodating design with diverse use lies in being able to combine colors with ease. The color combinations of relate and support underpin the holistic values which are becoming increasingly important in the relationship between people and their environment. At the same time, the color range reflects a responsibility regarding environmental aware design processes for material selection and production. Of course, color will much more bound to material in the future. In addition, design must consider supply chain, subsequent recycling into the design process from the outset. Of course, and this is also a question of color. Higher expectations of sustainable practices also influence global color preferences. Shades reminiscent of unbleached materials, soft and natural colors are becoming more prevalent. They offer great diversity, flexibility than unchromatic gray, black, or pure white that we see a lot now on the market, and where in the home spaces, the display actually is the only colorful spot that you can see. High energy contrasting colors create additional opportunities for experimentation and expression. If you see this on our situation board, the RAL color feeling 2022 colors have a wide range of use. So they facilitate multifunctionality and reject polarization. Pleasing surface colors and coordinated tones can easily be combined to satisfy the requirements of human-centered design. And all the colors you see are noted in RAL Design System Plus, so you can put them with a specific code. This also means that the color space I'm presenting today can be easily adjusted in the nuances, of course. It might be that it's for your appliance, it's another nuance that we present here. So you can easily find neighboring tones as well as bright and chromaticity matching colors. You can find data on this on the website, of course, where you can see the implementation into the system. These are the codes we offer. And they make the whole thing part of a standardized system that you can easily communicate to your manufacturer or wherever you want to put these colors. The position in the color space can be seen here quite well. We see well-distributed values with a high warm component and a complementary blue component. The green tones are in the warm range too. Brightness and chromaticity are quite regularly distributed and thus allow for various contrasts, from subtle differences to strong chromaticity and contrasts of brightness. You can see this quite clearly. Last year, we had a much more a collection with much less contrasts, we have to say. So it's becoming more contrasty these days. For closer classification, I show the selected colors and the arrangement by hue. As I said, the warm part is slightly predominant, but complemented by 6 very different shades of blue. Arranged according to brightness, the result is balanced. It has a balanced picture with even gradations. The same applies to arrangement by chromaticity, a balanced profile with graduated brightness levels. So there are a lot of possibilities here. This sheet you can download, actually, is available on the website. And we chose for our trend report the Storm Red, Mandarin Orange, Agate Brown, Pure Beige, Ginger Grain Yellow, Pepper White, Williams Pear Yellow, Cardamom Green, Cotton White, which is slightly greenish, Dubuffet Green, Fog Green, Anthracite Blue, Tulle Violet, Violet Blue, and Light Violet. These are the colors, and you will find all the information about it on the website. You can start with one of our suggested color combinations or work confidently to generate new color adaptations for your project if you see them in the whole system and see the neighboring tones you want to apply to your project, maybe. Vary and expand the color selection by simply and quickly using the RAL design system. For your own existing collections or for collections of manufacturers, you can apply the trend to with the current trend story and highlight them in their communication. So you could take the trend story and the narration and put your existing collection into it by choosing the colors of your collection and put them into the narration of relate and support. Look at the color stories we will publish step by step, apply a color that is near to the trend color matrix and put your product into context. That's quite an easy operation. And even by choosing just 3 or 4 existing colors, relations to the current narration are possible and help to put your products into a timely and now-based circumstances. Of course, we don't just care about the narration in color, but color is always concerned with form, surface, and pattern. So we have universal colors, vivid and adaptive, unbleached tones, soft natural colors, energetic contrasts, and clarity. And in the forms, we have flowing forms, curves, which are quite geometrically simple, that appear to be handmade, but dynamic, show modules and combinations. We have authentic surfaces, we have aspects of synesthesia like color and surface coming together, also contrasts like smoothness and roughness at the same time. We actually also have dynamic patterns, modularity and flexibility in the pattern. And most of all, we have something that is interesting because we have organic forms at the same time as really grids and standardized pattern that come together. This is quite interesting and quite new, you must say. We see the essence and the illustration of the interaction of color and form, like you see it here. To be contemporary, the forms are dynamic but simple to understand and very non-technical. So you really like to touch these and to feel these. They're really bodily and remind you of touching. But also the pattern might be quite technical inside of these forms, which is quite interesting, I must say. The material code has a sensitive but robust feeling and visual conciseness. The theme of authenticity and good haptics remain absolutely important. New materials that are obviously and upcycled and are now also implemented on an industrial scale. The theme of donated colors through material changes and processing remains and is becoming increasingly important. So what I mean by this is that color comes from the material and from the working with the surface of the material. Even obviously, handmade material traces are an expression of value and not of flaws. So it's good to have these, actually. The surface code features both strictly geometric forms, organic and complex formal design at the same time. Random structures are readily discovered and reproduced. And in everything, there is a strong order, but also dissolution, editing, inaccuracies, and errors that are human, of course. The form code adds up. So clarity and simplicity are combined with curves and fluidity, perhaps somewhat unfamiliar forms that fit into a world of ambiguity and complexity that we are facing. Purely geometric solutions increasingly seem too technical and too alien, actually. So we have to make them a little bit more flowing and human, like you want to touch them, that you can have resonance with the form, actually. This works quite well. What we did do for you to be more sure to apply them easily is to test the colors as paint in real environments to be able to distribute them safely, of course. Here are a couple of scenes from the studio where these curated colors were created. And we test under different lighting conditions, of course, and different scales and simultaneous contrast. We also end up testing other people's reaction to the colors, but we all know that some of you like either these or either that, and that are differences in the opinions. And well, that's good. We have to talk about them. Especially in lockdown, we also tested digitally. And as I mentioned before, it's becoming more easy and more precise to render surfaces and to have very good lighting conditions also in digital spaces. And if you already have learned how to apply these colors in an analog way, these digital ways are really, really supportive and help you taking decisions. Of course, this works better and better, and the digital material representations also have great advantages for evaluating colors. In the middle, you see a design for World Industrial Design Conference in China, for example, and above the design of a material box with the current trend collection. What we want to do actually with our colors is to design situations, and you see this in this slide. This design of situations is one of the most important criteria for quality in color design, because it also deals with context. Color sets relationships and supports functions. So, for example, by highlighting a button on a device in color, I influence the situation of operation. And by choosing color and materials for a room, I influence the situation of use, of course. This is what we have to think about. What kind of situations do I want to create? And this involves people and man and woman, of course. The color space makes it easier for you to design harmonious color combinations for product design and architecture in various contrasts and contexts. The title theme, relate and support, is well illustrated by the following examples. We have developed 3 series of emotions that create very different atmospheres. Like the vital one, the calm one, and the clear one. In the vital one, we will see it is very, very fresh and with predominant green tones and moderated white, which is not a bright white, but yeah, like you see in the background here, it's a little chalky. Naturalness, matte and silky textures, and stimulating liveliness characterize this style world. Dull green furniture, stimulating yellow accents, and calm wisdom are the key words here. And if we see it in the rendering, you realize a pleasant yet concise design that comes across as warm and natural. The yellow absolutely needs sun, you can see here, to be able to work. The yellow is not a shade color and is more suitable as an accent or highlight than as an area color for bigger areas. The calm series, we continue with the calming series. Here there is a high brightness contrast with little colorfulness. This makes the color world more elegant and restrained. calm, sensitive materials and surfaces with flowing, flattering shapes define this style world. You really want to touch and feel the haptics. It's a pleasant, calming, and noble, gentle with tactile effect. In the rendering, we feel the simplicity, but also elegance of this color combination. The profile even looks rather familiar. The rose tone actually is really important. It gives the profile some youthfulness and freshness, which is really important nowadays. The Clear series has a completely different approach. It has high chromatic contrasts and high brightness contrasts. So this makes the style world look very graphic, bold, and rather artificially concise. Despite its strength, the combination also has something clear and calm about it because the colors stand side by side so naturally. This is about order, effectiveness, and life, of course, to have an expression. And in the rendering, you can imagine it shows the same scenario we saw before with a different expression. That we have a clear design, accentuated colors, create a quite young space with artistic aspiration. And it's becoming something really, really different. And this shows the potential of the 15 colors quite nicely. So we can go further and fundamentally expand the resulting color combinations. The selected shades are all well suited for product design and architecture and can be flexibly adapted to different needs and situations, as you see here. This can be seen in our key visual. The individual areas of the color material collage can be divided into different color combinations with different effects. So we see the area that stimulates feeling, the area that invites experimentation, the area that promotes concentration or work atmosphere, as well as regeneration and communicating promotion color combinations. Equally conceivable as components of a product collection with different emotion values geared to target groups. The communicative customers, those who like to experiment, as well as the sensitive, perhaps more homely target groups. Let's say it even more basic. As an example, we have converted the categories of sociologist Andreas Reckwitz into design categories, building on the thoughts on the value of cultural goods, and show these as color profiles. In this way, we get a maximum of different and quite distinct color profiles with a clear reference to application. From focused work to experimental, playfulness and communication promoting color profiles. Persona target group or target groups are keywords, but also distinguishability of areas, so color can be used as in a serving way and supports identification of the relationship of people and environment or product. To make it more clear, this can be implemented for architecture in the area of zoning and differentiation. The different color profiles can promote an atmospheric stimulus climate that helps to be alert and awake, to have differences wherever you go here. And you feel, okay, you're now in the communication zone, you're now in the regenerative zone, and now you can really experiment because the climate also supports you to experiment. We made this a little bit more clear by applicating also some photos to show more clearly what to do under which scenario. All in all, we have some color material collages that help you to decide to put them into different parts of your building, for example, or to be viewed as different target groups. So target groups that are more focused, communicative, experimental, that are more into the feel and sensitive area, or that are more into natural and regenerative areas. So this is a service for us to use, so you can apply these into your own material archive. So go with these images to your archive and put these color and material contexts into action. So this is the functional way. So we have always different metaphors for these basic combinations. So the narrative, the ethic part, the sensual part, the playful part with a very high color contrast, and the experimental part, which is quite unusual. And in the end, it's up to you to decide which combinations to apply into your contexts, into your projects. But I think we can help a little bit by sorting out emotions and put these into effect in your designs. You can clearly see these in our Leporello. You can download or even order as a printed copy that you can put into your studio and work with these, of course. And of course, you find the color library online to download and to work with them. This also further information works, you find online to have really deep insights into the trends that is continuing actually. So follow us maybe to get more insights in the future. Thank you for listening. To maybe you got an idea, maybe you have some ideas for your project to apply these colors. The project team was Beate Breitenstein, Markus Frentrop, Sabine Hirsch, Melissa Windemeyer, Martin Kern, Timo Rieke, Alina Schadner, Markus Schlegel, Lina Schmidt, Clara Wunderlich, and Melanie Zitzke. Thank you very much for attending this. Maybe you got an idea what to do with these colors, and maybe you also feel some kind of power to use them. I hope so, and I'm really curious about your questions that we might have now. Thank you very much.